Good evening, everyone. It is our pleasure to have you in this inaugural function. We, the MMBA, is happy to inaugurate the English Literary Club for the year 2022. The meeting is called to order. The best wishes for any beginning is none other than the mother's wishes. Let us begin with her wishes. தாயையும் தமிழையும் விட சிறந்தது என்று இவ்வுலகில் உண்டா? தமிழ் தாய் வாழ்த்திலிருந்து தொடங்குவோம். I request everyone to stand for தமிழ் தாய் வாழ்த்து. Thank you. In a play called The Life of King Henry VIII, the Shakespeare has said this: a good company, a good wine, and a good welcome can make people good. We have just modified the wine with a high tea at the end. So, a good company, good tea, and a good welcome can make this event a memorable one. May I now request Dr. D. GNANASEKARAN, Chairman of English Literary Club, MMBA, to give the welcome address.
Hon'Ble Mr. Justice S. Sundar, Judge, Madras High Court. Respected Mr. A. Arumugam, Advocate, Madurai Bench of Madras High Court. Noble-natured President of MMBA, Mr. S. Raghavan. Able and efficient General Secretary, Mr. KPN Narayan Kumar. Our founder president, senior counsel, Mr. Isaac Mohanlal, and our ex-presidents and government side advocates, office bearers and executive members of MMBA, and Mr. MAHABOOB ATHIFF, who is to make vote of thanks, and Co-ordinator Ms. LAKSHMI PRASANNA, members of MMBA, advocates, friends. One of the romantic poets in the 18th century in England, William Wordsworth, sees a rainbow in the sky. He sings, "My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky." Behold means sees. He sings, "My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So was it when I was a child. So is it now when I am a man. So be it when I grow old, or let me die. The child is father of the man." On yet another occasion, Wordsworth hears a song sung by Nightingale in full-throated ease on a summer day under shadows numberless. He sings, "My heart aches. A drowsy numbness pains my senses, as if though hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opium to the drains. Just 1 minute past, Lede had I sung." Thus, Wordsworth expresses happiness through his songs. In the similar manner, today I feel that my heart leaps up, my heart aches, because my heart is full to the brim with a feeling of thankfulness and gratefulness to Honorable Mr. Justice S. Sundar, who amidst tight schedule has come over here and is presiding over the inaugural function of the English Literary Club of the MMBA. Every one of us here unfailingly aware that his time is precious. So, on behalf of you, the gathering here, on behalf of the MMBA, on behalf of the English Literary Club attached to the MMBA, welcome Honorable Justice Mr. S.S. Sundar. I also welcome our respected member, Advocate Mr. A. Arumugam. He is a prolific and versatile speaker on any subjects. Today he is scheduled to talk on the subject of law and language. I welcome everybody here. In this welcome address, with an awareness that I should be brief because paucity of time, I would like to touch two things. One is the importance of English language in the High Court, in few words. The another one is the difference between law and literature. The importance of English language regarding that. English language is considered to be the language of the power, governmental power, intellectual power, Russell power, but not muscle power. Our High Court is powerful, and we are practicing before this powerful court, so we are intellectually powerful, so the language must be English for us. Even section 482 of Criminal Procedure Code gives inherent power High Court, which power is not given to subordinate courts. Similarly, Article 226, that Article 215 gives punishing power to the High Court. There is a difference between the High Court and the subordinate courts. Don't mistake me because I am touching law, although I am a literary man. Don't mistake me. The difference between High Court and the subordinate courts with regard to the power under section 482 of CRPC, in two sentences I would like to say, the High Court can pass any orders unless prevented. The subordinate courts cannot pass any orders unless permitted. It may appear to be very simple, but my learned, young advocates can take down these two sentences and we can deliberate these two sentences after some time. The High Court can pass any orders unless prevented. The subordinate courts cannot pass any orders unless permitted. My second subject is the difference between law and literature. Of course, both need facts. Both cannot exist without facts. Both cannot operate in vacuum. An experienced advocate builds his argument on proved facts. Similarly, an author spins his story on imagined facts. Of course, in these two things have certain principles on their own respective spheres. Principles, concepts. For instance, in English literature, willing suspension of disbelief. It is a concept. Suppose actor Dhanush single-handedly can chase away 100 persons who are wielding dangerous weapons. How is it possible? Can a single man chase away 100 people? But we enjoy it. We willingly suspend the disbelief there. So it is a concept in English literature or in literature to enjoy the film, to enjoy the literature stories. Similarly, in law also, we have the principle of presumption. Under section 4 of the Evidence Act 1872, we come across may presume, shall presume, and conclusive proof. So, both have their own rules. We can see law in literature, we can see literature in law. For instance, out of necessity, I have to study constitutional law by H.M. Sirvai. The satisfaction, the contentment which I had while reading H.M. Sirvai, the same thing I had while I read Shakespearean dramas. I don't like to take much of the time with this. I take leave and I give way to your impatience to listen to our Honorable Mr. Justice S.S. Sundar. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. A true honor is an outflow of love from the heart. May I now request the President of MMBA, Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan, to honor the Honorable Mr. Justice S.S. Sundar, Madras High Court, with a memento. Thank you, Lordship. Thank you, sir. May I now request the General Secretary of MMBA, Mr. K.P. Narayana Kumar, to honor our special guest, Mr. A. Arumugam, Advocate, with a memento. Thank you, sirs. English Literary Club has been an actively functioning club of MMBA throughout these years. Today, we take pleasure in resuming our club activities after a gap of nearly 2.5 years. MMBA is privileged to have our past General Secretary of MMBA, Mr. Honorable Justice S.S. Sundar, to inaugurate the English Literary Club for the year 2022 and deliver the inaugural address.
Good evening to everyone. Today, I am invited here to inaugurate the first session of English Literary Club. The welcome speech, a learned friend actually quoted Shakespeare, Wordsworth, and it's very important for the advocates because I heard a lecture of Mr. Fallin Nariman while addressing a gathering of the beginners actually, who are just enrolled actually. So English, of course, is a foreign language, but now it is very important for every advocates. So it is one great step which you people have to cross is the language barrier. The command of language, eloquence, is really an important step to practice and being a very good advocate. And your future actually depends upon your command of language, English. Please read. I just remember one of the idiom actually used, beating around the bush. Now, if you go over the bar, if you learn so much the niceties of English language, sometimes actually will tend beating around the bush, not coming to the point actually. So with little caution about that, you please learn English. That's actually while inaugurating the lecture. And then under the topic actually, law and language. So I feel it is very important for every one of the advocates, practicing advocates, to learn the language and the different, because your representation to be effective, the art of conveyance should be very eloquent. Even in drafting, you should concentrate. Unless you have a very good command or a very good knowledge in English, it's very difficult for you to survive as an advocate. Therefore, for every one of you, I expect you to be more concentrate on your skills, your vocabulary, and then your grammar also sometimes. Because for us to read your papers, it's very difficult nowadays actually. Some of us, so we normally do actually fast reading. So we are unable to understand with that speed. If you commit actually a lot of mistakes while drafting your pleadings, so that will also actually tell upon your actually the standard, and then it is very difficult for the judge unless he understand your case fully. So we always put in trouble in courts. The point which I try to actually make here now, because as a ex-secretary of actually the very same association, is that every advocate should learn, and the associations are meant for equipping yourself. The time you spend in the library is very important for every advocate. Therefore, I think actually MMBA serves a very good actually purpose here, because every year actually at least 3-4 actually opening of library sessions, and the name of actually our past senior advocate or judges is usual. Now I don't find actually such a inaugural of new sections of library in the near future. Why it had happened actually like that? So please, and then now the e-library here is actually working well. As a president, I am not supposed to actually speak more, and then I am not a good speaker, please. I admit that actually. So before always. So public speaking is almost is the next to death for me. Actually, it is in that way. But anyway, I am here, and then I welcome Mr. Arumugam, who is a great friend of mine, and then I also admire him of his I know he is from a very, that is actually, Vallur is a, Vallur actually. So as an advocate of Vallur, yes, I was unable to actually understand him, how he is more interested in the language and then, so that is the reason why actually he couldn't survive there, but actually, so his thirst and the communicating skill I find in him is really to be appreciated. And with this actually I conclude my presidential address, and I really congratulate every one of the office bearers who have now assumed office. I remind them that actually their duty also is to contribute more to the community as such. So Advocate Association is meant for, as I said, to equip yourself, and then nobody can actually in this world think that he is learned, because the more he learns, then he comes to know that what he has to learn is actually something more than what he actually understood with this little learning. Therefore, in the process of learning, so I remind you that you should spend at least a considerable time, not only in this subject but also in your yes, general knowledge and other aspects, particularly with the importance of actually the language skill. I insist programs like this will really help you to qualify you as a good advocate in future. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the enthralling and exhilarating speech, Lords. Now, our most respected Mr. A. Arumugam advocate is not only an advocate but also an academician and a great orator. He has delivered many lectures. Especially, he is an indispensable resource person in Judicial Academy, hailing strong in both language and knowledge since his enrollment in the year 1975. He is very well known for his humor sense. With his rich experience in both language and knowledge, he will be the befitting resource person to do justice to the topic law and language. May I now request Mr. A. Arumugam, advocate, to deliver the special address on law and language.
Mr. President, Mr. President of MMBA, I salute each and every one of you present on the occasion. I don't want to name the persons individually for want of time, and I am also against it. The topic taken by me, not given, taken by me is law and literature. The topic is only a pretext to speak anything I want. It is only a pretext and not a subject. Anyhow, I will to do some justice to the topic. Law and language, so far as an advocate is concerned, should be necessarily in English. English is not only an important language, but it has become an international language also. My father was very much interested in English. He studied in SLB school in Nagargovil. Then he did his intermediate in Cuttack University by correspondence course. BA degree in Delhi University. Even when I was doing law college, I was going through the books cursorily, Mmba. But my father would read the book deeply. When I was doing first BGL, he asked me one question: what is meant by construction of a contract? I told him construction means building. How a contract is built: offer, acceptance, consideration, performance. In several stages, a contract is being made and performed. This is called construction of a contract, I told my father. He laughed at my ignorance. He told me construction of a contract means interpretation of a contract. Construction is a noun. It has got two verbs. One verb is to construct, another verb is to construe. To construe means to interpret. My father has done his BA, but he has read my books more deeply than what I was doing. And எங்கள் அப்பாவை விட நான் மோசமாக தான் இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுவேன். அது ஒரு முக்கியமான சமாச்சாரம். I am a pale reflection of my bright father. Therefore, some of the credit goes to my father and not to me at all. Then, so far as language is concerned, in the Constitution there are several provisions regarding language. Article 341, language of the Union. Hindi will be the official language of the Union. In India, there is no national language. That is more important. Though Mahatma Gandhi wanted Hindi to be the national language, the members of the Constituent Assembly violently disagreed, and there was no unanimous consent over naming one particular language as the national language. Therefore, it was stated that Hindi will be the official language of the Union. For the first 15 years, English will be an additional language. After 15 years, English will be eliminated and Hindi will be the sole official language according to the final script of the Constitution. Therefore, in 1965, there were agitations over language issue in Tamil Nadu, Andhra, West Bengal, etc. But the agitation is forceful in Tamil Nadu. Therefore, an official amendment act was passed and it was made clear that English will continue to be the additional language of the Union indefinitely. Therefore, now we are having English is an additional language of the Union on a permanent basis. Then, so far as state official language is concerned, it is for the state to take any of the languages mentioned in the 8th schedule of the Constitution or any other language it prefers. You may be surprised to know that though we got independence from the British, we are not still away from the influence of the English. You may be surprised to know that northeastern states have a special liking for English. Northeastern states. You may be surprised to know that the name of a state is called Nagaland. Then there is Gurgaland. Then there is Bodoland. The words of the states and union territories and territories will remember Scotland, Ireland, and England. Therefore, the word land, which is a specific English name, finds a place in our Constitution. What is more important is the state language of Nagaland is English and one of the Naga languages. And the state languages of Bodoland is also English. Therefore, now the English has to come to stay. And it is our duty, especially for the juniors, to have some proficiency in English. Now, it has become compulsory for us to learn the particular language. What is more important is, though English is a famous language, but in 1066, the French language has become the national language of England. From 1066 to 1362, the French was considered to be the language of the English courts, and the English courts have applied only the French language. Because in 1066, one Norman king called William the Conqueror, a French duke, became the king of England. Then only during the time of Henry V, English became the language of the court in England itself. From 1066 to 1362, English language did not find a place in the English courts also. English is of recent origin from 1362. Then, when we are in law college, the teacher would state, you are here because you cannot be anywhere else. Because only in law college a person can get a seat easily. I will say, joining law course is the last resort of a graduate scoundrel. Joining law college is the last resort for a graduate scoundrel. Now it has become very difficult to get admission into law college. Now it has become very, very difficult. And we have to make necessary preparations. At that time, they would state that a young law student should read Perry Mason novels. Earl Sidney Gardner. In those novels, there was a murder. There is a detective called the Perry Mason. He will find out who is the culprit. There will be cross-examination in the novel extensively, and it will be considered to be very helpful to a budding lawyer. Then, Agatha Christie. Then what is more important is, so far as English is concerned, what is necessary to make the speaker successful? He should have three capacities. One, simplicity. Second, lucidity. Third, euphony. Euphony means pleasing to ears. And so far as sections are concerned, they are long-winded and they are very lengthy. But you have to go through the books of Lord Denning. The sentences will be short and verbs are optional. Lord Denning's books, sentences will be short and verbs optional. Therefore, it is always better to be precise, up to the point. And I am conscious of one thing. Tomorrow is a working day, it is a Wednesday, and I should not take much of your time. And therefore, I expect every junior to equip themselves well. It does not mean that seniors are very good, it is not so. And I have got my own drawbacks. I know it. And I know one thing, that I am not Isaac Mohanlal. Still we are having our regional languages. Why? We are still having our regional languages like Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, etc. Why? We are notoriously weak in English grammar. Therefore, we are still holding on to our regional languages. Once upon a time, I jokingly commented, If everyone is strong in English grammar, there will be Isaac Mohanlals everywhere. If everyone is strong in English grammar, Isaac Mohanlals will be everywhere. Therefore, only our lack of knowledge in grammar still makes our regional language survive. We come across this situation. We use a peculiar blend of language which includes English words and Tamil grammar. We make use of English words and Tamil grammar. ஒரு பிரபல ஹோட்டலுக்கு 5 வெயிட்டர்கள், 3 மேனேஜர்கள், 7 சர்வர்கள் தேவைன்னு. Therefore, everyone is proficient in English words, but we are absolutely lacking in a basic sense of grammar. That is why our languages survive. Therefore, we should be happy that we are weak in grammar so that our regional languages will flourish in future. அதனால் இங்கிலீஷ் கிராமர் மோசம்னு நம்ம வருத்தப்பட தேவையே இல்லை. அப்போ தான் நம்ம தாய் தமிழ் வளர்ந்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். Therefore, with this small opportunity, I complete my speech. I know that I am not the perfect person, I am a misfit. But when Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan suggested my name, I readily agreed for the simple reason that தேரை இழுத்து விடணும். It will be a beginning. A beginning is always good than stagnation. Therefore, I accepted the offer and I am before you and I am happy to end my speech now. We will meet in the court tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful speech. In general, patience is very ambitious, sir. It won't serve those who has part knowledge. But whereas Arumugam, sir, just enslaved patience within him. Thank you so much, sir. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. May I now request Mr. M. MAHABOOB ATHIFF, member English Literary Club MMBA, to propose the thanks note.
Good evening, everybody. To say thanks is not merely a ritual, it is a duty. And to thank people in an evening after long hours of work who have taken the patience to listen to our lecture for their own benefit and for benefit of all of us is special, and special things always require a thanks. I would like to first thank Honorable Mr. Justice S.S. Sundar Ji, who readily accepted our invitation to preside over this inaugural function. And in fact, when we were discussing among our own committee members as to who is to inaugurate the function, the first name that we all agreed. So the first unanimous decision of the committee was Justice Sundar Ji, because he is from MMBA, he is from Madurai, and he is a bright example for juniors like me. When we came into this profession, we had him and Isaac sir as great examples for us to aspire that we would be able to succeed in this profession. And another special thanks to Arumugam sir, who has always been an inspiration for many in this bar, and for the erudite speech that he gave us today. And I'm sure anything that he starts has always been successful. So thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank our Srinivasa Raghavan sir, who is always having the urge to start something new, to always see to it that it continues. Even during COVID, you will all remember that he was doing a webinar series which benefited a lot of members of the bar. So thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity to hold such functions. And I would also like to thank our secretary, Narayana Kumar sir, who cooperated with us throughout. And even though it was a short notice that was given to us to arrange for all this, he was of great help and assistance. And I would like to also thank Dr. GNANASEKARAN sir, who led us. To be a leader is very difficult, and he took up the arduous task with great ease. And I'm sure with his leadership, we'll be able to do many more programs like this. And I would like also remember the note of gratitude for my former colleague and the Vice President of MMBA, Mr. Natarajan, who had always supported us. And I would be failing in my duty to thank all of you, thank generally if I have not thanked all of you, because it is said the best of gratitude is the gratitude for patience. And to be patient in an evening after tiring hours of court work is indeed something that's worthy to be recognized, and I express my sincere gratitude and thanks to all of you who have taken the patient years to attend this function and to make it possible. Thank you for your patient hearing, and we hope that you will be here with us in every meeting and function that we are organizing, and I'm sure we'll be of great use to you. Thank you.
Now it's my turn to thank our brother Mahboob ATHIFF, who thanked everyone. Now I request everyone to rise for the national anthem. Thank you.